arcade players, get ready. The new Atari 5200 Super System is here. With a controller so advanced it plays arcade. Graphics so real it looks arcade. With arcade hits you can't play on any other system. No other home video system can touch it. The new Atari 5200 Super System. It's as good as you are, maybe even better. Next time.
Hello and welcome back to another great episode of the amazing Atari Aficionado. I am Jazzy Jeff and welcome back everyone. So, it's hot. It's hot in the game room. But despite that, I got some hot items for you. And I'm just going to dive right into it. First off, I figured I would just start with something simple. I got another loose pickup, so I figured I would show it off. Finally acquired Casino. I needed to get it. I did not have it, so I now have Casino, which is kind of weird. I thought I had this one already, but it was actually Blackjack, and it looks very, very similar. So there is that. And then one other quick neat thing. I used to show booklets and stuff a lot, and I hadn't really acquired any. And I had finally found this neat little Activision winter/spring 1983 like video game catalog. So essentially, this would have came inside an Activision game, and then it would show off upcoming Activision games. So this is just, you know, another pre-internet kind of neat thing, and it's also cool for me to go through because I actually own a lot of these games. So I can kind of go through the catalog and look up the various games that was made by Activision. So really cool from 1983. It's pretty wild how good a condition this is in. But very excited to own a lot of these games. Obviously, Activision made some incredible games. So there you go. There are the Activision teams that you can join, the neat little patches that you could probably get. I'm assuming there must have been some kind of mail away. So, oh, and this is pretty cool. They are advertising for the Intellivision. So this is when they started releasing Intellivision games on there. So there is that, a little bit of booklet fun. So let's get into what the video is about. You saw in the description, as well as the title, as well as the thumbnail. We're talking Atari Lynx. I'm doing the 90s. For once, I'm stepping out of the 70s, out of the 80s, and into the semi-present day. This would have been probably one of the newest products that the original Atari company had come out with. This is when they decided to re-enter the market. Re-enter the market not only with the new age console in the 90s, which was the Jaguar, or some people pronounce it Jaguar, or Jaguar, but I believe it's Jaguar. Jaguar. It's kind of a weird word. But they also entered the handheld market. So a lot of you may have not known, there was an Atari Lynx, which was the handheld. And there was actually about 3 different versions of it, if I'm not mistaken, because they continued to kind of make the screen bigger and try and make the actual unit itself smaller and a little bit easier to hold. Unfortunately, I don't have an Atari Lynx to show you. However, I can insert some pictures of one. So that being said, that is what the system looks like, and then the games would actually look like this, and they're extremely thin, and they have this neat little like hook thing here to help you get them in and out. Just really strange. that they were able to fit data on such a thin little piece of plastic. And I wonder if anybody's ever had any trouble with these, like, cracking or breaking, because they look very brittle and they look like they could easily be destroyed and or even get lost. I mean, it looks like a bookmark. Seeing this in person, it does it justice how lightweight and little it is. So here are just several Lynx games that I have complete in box, and I figured I would just show them off just because they look really cool. Unfortunately, I have not played any of these games, so I don't really have any gameplay information to tell you. So here is Crystal Mines 2, so this is the second one. And this is about the general size box that Lynx Games would have came in back in the early 90s, so about 90-91. This still has the warranty card, which is pretty cool. And then here is the manual, which is pretty small. But it's interesting that it did come in a different language. It almost looks like maybe French Canadian, to see if it would maybe sell well in Canada. So there is Crystal Mines. And then I'll just keep this rolling here. And then this is one you saw earlier. This is Steel Talons, which is a pretty awesome name right there. And then here is the back of the box. So they kind of show some pictures of the gameplay and then a very long description, which is awesome. You just don't see games with that much description, let alone games in so many languages. It's pretty wild. Obviously, there is the cart, which you saw earlier, and a warranty card once again. This is pretty nuts. This is in 6 different languages. So I'm not entirely sure what some of these are. They might just be offshoots of other, like maybe different types of French, and maybe German, and possibly Russian, because I know there's different dialects, so that's the word I'm looking for. So maybe different dialects. If anybody recognizes any of these, I mean, this is crazy. It's like a little mini booklet. I mean, even for the 90s, this seems a bit much for, to put in a manual. But something tells me, I think it's because of the fact that they weren't doing well, so I think they tried to branch out to as many different types of people and different languages to really get the product out on the shelves. This is a little bit of an early one. This is actually 1989, so this is an earlier Lynx box. As you can tell, it's a little bit different looking as opposed to the later boxes from the 90-91. And here is the back of it. So as you can tell, they kind of put more information and more pictures and kind of filled up the box a little bit more. So here is Gates of Xenocon. So another ridiculous name. Very Atari-like, though, I will say. It's neat to see that even in the late 80s into the 90s, they continued warranty card, doing such great animation and just such awesome artwork on their boxes. This is a very, very small manual. This is actually kind of reminiscent of the original Atari manuals. Escape the Deadly Web. Is it the World Wide Web? So yes, that is that. Gates of Xenocon. So very ridiculous looking. I would read some of the description of the games, but I feel like this video would end up being a lot longer than it should be. So I'm just going to leave it up to you guys. If you see a game that you find interesting, obviously look it up. Here I have Zai Boss. Unfortunately, this is the one box that is missing the manual as well as the warranty card, but I do have the game, as you can tell. So this looks awesome. This looks pretty crazy. One other neat thing about the Lynx is it boosted that you could play up to like four people in some games, and I think one game you can play up to like 8 different people in the game. So it definitely was ahead of its time in the whole multiplayer, trying to get multiple people playing. But I think the problem that arose was you would need obviously other consoles and connecting cables, and then everybody would need a copy of the game. So it could get pricey for sure, especially back in that time, because I believe the system as well as the handhelds was expensive, and the handheld even to this day is still very expensive, and it has that Game Gear problem where a lot of the handheld systems don't work anymore because they were either cheap or just like broke apart over time. So I don't know if I'll ever find one, let alone find one that's in good working condition. But I have found a lot of neat gaming stuff so far. So, you know, I'm going to stay hopeful. Okay, here is Kung Food. So this one is pretty wild. So that is pretty neat. Once again, another extremely thick manual, a warranty card, and then of course the actual cart. So there is that. If any of you are familiar with any of these games already or have played any of these games before, feel free to leave comments in the comments section of the video. Here is Slime World. So this is one of the games that I was saying that's up to 8 people could play it. Once again, this is another varying looking box. This box says 1990 by Epix. So yeah, so I mean, apparently multiple people could play this game, which is wild. I mean, think about that for a minute. 8 people on a handheld, like connecting it with 7 other people. That has to be just absolutely insane. So, and here is the game manual, which every page is American. So there's a lot of information in here as far as getting that stuff set up. So, once again, that is Slime World. That is pretty cool. Finally, we come across a game that I've played before. I have not played this version of it, but I actually used to play the arcade version of it. This is Rampart. And obviously, it was ported to the Lynx. So this is the Lynx version of the game, and it looks pretty good. It looks like there's like animation cutscenes, and the actual gameplay itself looks pretty decent. So, and of course, there is the cart, very thick manual in multiple languages, and that ever elusive warranty card. So, another neat box. And then finally, the final one, which is my favorite looking box as well as cart. This is Cyberball. Tournament Cyberball. So you gotta have some sports titles on there, of course. So this is some kind of robotic football game. And you guys should recognize this. You may or may not recognize this, but this is one of the items that I had teased months and months and months and months and months ago with the return of the Atari, amazing Atari Aficionado. So the manual is a poster. And this is wild. Because the one side, trying to be as careful as I can. These things love to stay folded up. So here is the manual. This is the game manual. So if you want to know how to play the game and the moves and maneuvers, I mean, this thing is intense. There's a lot of information here as well as pictures. It looks really cool. And then on the other side is this awesome poster. You can see some blood running down of Tournament Cyberball on the Atari Lynx. So I'm not sure if other games did this. I'm sure there was, but this is one of the few that I actually have that is a poster. Actually, it's the only one that's a poster. So that is absolutely epically awesome. So there you have it. And real quickly, I will insert a picture of all of the front of the boxes so you guys can take a quick look at them now. Okay, and so there you have it. So that is the Atari Lynx handheld. So if I ever get one, I will definitely go into more detail and actually show some gameplay and show how it works and everything like that. But for the time being, I mostly just wanted to show these off because I know you guys love seeing my collection and seeing what I have. and you love checking out the boxes and everything. So I appreciate it. I love all the support I get. And as always, to keep the show flowing, I'm going to show you the bonus items. I like to show some bonus items at the very end. Some of you might find this cool, some of you might find this boring, but I was able to come across an original receipt of an Atari system from back in, this would have been 1982. So over here in the corner, that's up to you guys if you want to decipher that, but I'm pretty sure that says 7982. But it just says like take for the delivery instructions, and then on the bottom it says Atari Video, and it has the serial number, computer system, and it shows that the total price of it was $142.98. So back in '82, that would have been $142.98. So I don't know. I thought this was neat. I thought this was cool. This is from Kmart. This is like the sales check. So it's corny, sure, and maybe boring. And oh, how perfect my goddamn neighbors are mowing. So what a perfect time to end the video. But before I end it, I had one other neat quick thing to show you guys. This is an original box. I do not actually have the joystick. I believe the joystick was broken, but I still have the packaging wrapper for it. But this is the joystick, third-party joystick for the Atari 2600 computers and video games from KB Toys, with the KB Toys sticker right up there in the corner, marked down from $10.99 to $7.99 with the little red marker there. And this was just this like pistol grip, 360 rotation, two-way fire button joystick. I remember it being really stiff and really shitty, but it just looks neat. And I love boxes. Anything Atari, whether it's third party or official or name brand, I need to have it. It looks great on shelves and on the wall, and I'm excited for my new apartment because I'll be decorating it with stuff like this. So anyhow, that's everything for today. Hopefully you gals and guys enjoyed everything. Any questions, comments, please leave it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you so much for watching another great episode of the amazing Atari Aficionado. Jazzy out.
Hey, Mr. Block, can I go to the bathroom?
2 minutes.
Oh, yes! Cut back! Oh, yes, yes! I'm in the tube! Oh, yes, yes! Oh! All right! Introducing Lynx from Atari, the color video game you can get away with. Well, sometimes.